Hi, welcome to Arkintel. Something unusual is happening in one of the world's most admired countries. Before sunrise at Wellington Airport, a young woman stands at the gate with a one-way ticket, not fleeing danger or chaos, but quietly leaving a nation known for safety, beauty, and calm. And she isn't alone. New Zealand, with just 5.3 million people, is now witnessing the largest outflow of its own citizens in history. Tens of thousands are stepping onto planes, and the numbers are rising faster than anyone expected. So, how does a place celebrated as paradise become a place its own people feel they must leave? And what happens to a country when its future starts boarding flights out? In the year to September 2025, New Zealand recorded a net loss of 46,400 citizens, pushed by roughly 72,700 departures, the highest number the country has ever documented. These aren't small fluctuations or temporary dips. This is a structural shift in the movement of New Zealand's people, and it is happening at a pace that has caught economists, policymakers, and even local communities by surprise. But the most important detail isn't the size of the outflow, it's who is leaving. A large portion of these departures consist of young adults and working age professionals. These are people at the beginning or middle of their careers, individuals who should be driving the next cycle of growth, innovation, and productivity. When a small country loses this many people from its economic core, it isn't just losing population, it's losing potential, it's losing momentum, it's losing the group that keeps the engine running. And every month, flights keep taking off with more of them. What makes the trend even more striking is how quietly it's unfolding. There are no mass protests, no dramatic political clashes, no headlines about crises. Just a steady stream of citizens making deeply personal decisions that collectively reshape the nation's future. New Zealand's reputation for transparent institutions, social stability, and strong governance is well earned. But behind the stability lies a reality younger generations are increasingly confronting. The economy is simply too small to absorb their ambition. In 2022, agriculture, forestry, and fishing together accounted for just 4.57% of GDP, according to recent data. Meanwhile, by the September 2025 quarter, the overall unemployment rate had risen to 5.3%, and youth unemployment for 15 to 24-year-olds reached 15.2%. Add to that the country's low investment in innovation, with R&D spending at roughly 1.5% of GDP, far below the OECD average of around 2.7%, and the limits become even clearer. For a young engineer fresh out of university, job openings may be limited to only a handful of firms. For a software developer eyeing AI or cloud engineering roles, the local industry landscape often feels shallow and slow-moving. For a researcher, academic opportunities appear constrained by limited funding and resources. At some point, the main message becomes unavoidable. New Zealand is a wonderful place to live, but it offers fewer places to grow. Ambition is not the enemy, but when ambition meets limited economic scale, it creates a quiet pressure, a pressure that pushes people to ask themselves whether they must go somewhere else to reach their full potential. New Zealand's beauty is undeniable, but living inside that beauty has become increasingly expensive. The national median house price is about 770,000 New Zealand dollars, with home outside Auckland still above 691,000 New Zealand dollars, and Auckland itself close to 1 million New Zealand dollars. These aren't luxury homes, they're ordinary properties priced far beyond what most young earners can reach. Rents are no easier. The national average sits between 574 New Zealand dollars and 633 New Zealand dollars a week, while Auckland renters pay around 650 New Zealand dollars and Wellington about 595 New Zealand dollars. For many households, rent, groceries, fuel, and utilities now take up most of their paycheck, leaving little room to save. Imagine a couple in their late 20s, both working full-time, both saving carefully, yet after years of trying, they still can't get close to a deposit. At that point, the stunning landscape outside their window stops outweighing the financial strain inside their home. Paradise doesn't disappear, but the path forward does. New Zealanders aren't just leaving, they are concentrating in one destination more than ever before. When they go, most head to Australia, and the numbers make it clear why. In 2024, around 58% of all departing New Zealand citizens moved there. By mid-2023, more than 598,000 New Zealand-born people were already living in Australia, equal to over 2% of Australia's population. The pull is simple. Australia has a larger labour market, higher average wages, deeper industries, and a far easier pathway for New Zealanders to settle and work. What New Zealand offers in lifestyle, Australia matches with scale and opportunity. Once someone moves, the pattern spreads. They tell friends their pay goes further, housing feels more reachable, and their industry offers more room to advance. Soon, one departure becomes several, and entire social circles begin shifting across the Tasman. For many, Australia doesn't feel like leaving, it feels like moving up. New Zealand's isolation has already been part of its charm. Being far from the rest of the world creates a sense of safety and calm. But in a hyper-globalized economy, that same distance becomes a structural limitation that's hard to ignore. Shipping costs are higher, market access is slower, and global companies hesitate to place major operations so far from major markets. Innovation ecosystems take longer to develop, and opportunities in emerging industries often arrive later than they do in larger, more connected economies. As global sectors transform at record speed, many young New Zealanders feel their limits more sharply than ever. Distance reduces the scale of opportunities available at home, slows career progression compared to bigger markets, and makes the world's fastest growing industries feel just out of reach. And so, the distance that once felt like a shield now feels like a barrier they have to cross. New Zealand is still peaceful, beautiful, and safe, but lifestyle alone can't compete with opportunity. If the outflow continues, the country will face fewer workers, fewer innovators, and fewer taxpayers to sustain its future. The path forward is simple but urgent. Make housing attainable, grow wages through real productivity, and build industries that give young New Zealanders a reason to stay. Because the real question now isn't why they are leaving, it's whether New Zealand can offer a future worth staying for. And if that answer doesn't change soon, the next decade will be defined not by who arrives, but by who left. If you found this video thought-provoking, make sure to check out the sanctions paradox, why Russia's economy refused to collapse. In this video, we break down how Russia rewired its trade routes, built parallel financial systems, kept its oil exports moving, and the hidden cracks now emerging beneath the surface. Click the video to watch now.